continuing here, it is absolutely essential. It is key that all of us that have been here today continue on and become leaders in your area. And I know I've said that several times, but you are the leaders, you are the answer, you are the resistance, you are the future. And the fact that humanity is beginning to awaken also indicates to us that deep down in our survival instinct, in our discernment, we know that the hour is short, because they know that the hour is short, and they are accelerating their dehumanization program because they crave power and submission more than anything else. And that's why I want you here today to pledge with me to never submit or surrender to the forces of the New World Order. At the top of your lungs, we will never surrender. 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 Make no mistake, what we are doing now, what is happening here now, is the same fight that our ancestors, no matter where you come from, no matter what your history is, all of our ancestors had to stand against tyrants like these. And this particular tyranny goes all the way back to the black nobility of Italy and that system of imperial control, and the Byzantine Empire later that came and landed in the British Isles and used the great people of these isles as the engine for their tyrannical world government. And so when I say the answer to 1984 is 1776, I want everyone to know who lives in the UK, 1776 belongs to you more than it belongs to anybody. There was 1,000 years of war in these isles just to get the Magna Carta, and hundreds of years more war to defend basic liberties of free men and women. And Tony Blair, when he first got elected in 1996, said, my main job is to abolish Magna Carta. That is the equivalent of saying, I want to abolish due process and freedom. I want to make the UK like the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. And that's the most important point that I'm here to make to you today, is that they are afraid of people having basic rights. And the Parliament would not vote to launch a war against their fellow Englishmen and women and Germans and many others from all over the world that lived in the colonies, because they recognized it was a continuation of the fight that humans have been fighting forever. That's what it was, until the king came and said, how dare you, you will vote for this war. But 6 years later, the colonies had freedom, and they weren't perfect either. But that idea continues to grow on. And that's why I want to tell everybody in the UK, it was an Englishman, Eric Blair, a.k.a. George Orwell, who envisioned the nightmare future of 1984 because he worked in MI6. He worked as an imperial policeman before that. He was on the inside. Winston Smith was the character of himself in the future as he saw it. And so it was an Englishman that envisioned the tyranny of 1984, and it was Englishmen and other great people that envisioned 1776. And 1776 belongs to you. King George III, nothing against Germans, I'm part German, but King George III was a Hanoverian, German, and Transylvanian, and they don't like 1776 because it's a continuation of Magna Carta. Why did Tony Blair say, my first job is to get rid of Magna Carta? Because people by the hundreds of thousands died so that the public would have general rights. These have been paid for in blood. And if we let the New World Order win now, everything our ancestors fought for on every continent dies in vain. They call this New World Order the final revolution. the great tyranny. They intend to destroy humanity itself, break up men and women, break up the family, take over the crops, re-engineer the world. So it's impossible for free man and free woman to live in this world. They come to destroy your free will. They come to destroy your future. So we're not talking about an individual death here. We're not talking about one person dying. I'm not worried about being killed, and I know David Icke's not worried either. We're here, no security, up here, climbing up on the stage, because we're just like you, with wet blood. And we realize that there is no future for our children and their children. I close with this. My great dream is that your children and my children and their great-great-grandchildren and the great-great-grandchildren of those children, because humanity has not even begun to flower, we'll be living together in peace and doing things that we can't even imagine today, not just on this planet, but throughout the stars. And that the globalists not be able to take control of humanity and turn it into some robotic plaything for themselves so they can play God. I am here to tell the New World Order, you are not God. If you had any idea of the mind of God, you would not be committing the blasphemy against God's creation that you've engaged in. And here today is the proof in front of the universe. And in front of all the people long gone like Jim Tucker and those before him and William Wallace and so many others, we stand here in defiance, in many cases, of the very same bloodlines that have enslaved us for thousands of years. And we pledge before our ancestors to never surrender. The answer to 1984 is 1776. 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 I salute you all. God bless you all. We are winning. We have the initiative.